When a woman says, "You're too old for me," what's your immediate reaction? Most men will try to explain or convince her that they're not too old. But what if I told you there's another way, a method you can use right away to turn that comment into an opportunity for you? I'm about to share with you how you can handle this situation confidently and effectively. Imagine you're in a conversation with a woman, and suddenly, she says you're too old for her. It can be an awkward moment, but instead of rushing to change her mind, you can use a smart strategy to naturally shift how she feels about you. I call this the TAP method, a 3-step process that's simple yet incredibly effective in turning the phrase, "You're too old," into, "I can't stop thinking about you." Before I dive into the details of this method, let me explain why most men miss the mark in these situations, and how one of my friends turned this very objection into one of the reasons she chose him over younger men just last week. After years of studying age gap relationships, one thing surprised me. The men who succeed in these relationships aren't necessarily the ones who look younger than their age. Instead, they are the ones who understand the hidden psychology behind the phrase, "You're too old," and use this opportunity skillfully. Successful men in age gap relationships are the ones who don't let their age become a problem. Instead, they turn it into a part of their charm and confidence. Now, this may make you feel a little uncomfortable, but think about it. Perhaps you've spent years building your career, confidence, and lifestyle, yet in just a few seconds, a wrong response could make all of that irrelevant in her eyes. I've seen this happen countless times. The successful CEO who lost his composure and instantly became the old guy. The confident man who tried too hard to prove himself and lost her respect. Or the charming guy who let one comment ruin his entire vibe. But the truth is, when she says you're too old, this is your unique opportunity, one that younger guys will never have. If you know how to handle this situation, you can make her even more attracted to you. The key is to be confident in yourself. When she says you're too old, don't rush to justify it or feel uncomfortable. Stay calm and show that you accept yourself as you are. You don't need to change or do anything to appear younger. You simply need to show that you're completely satisfied with who you are. Remember, true confidence doesn't come from how you look. It comes from how you feel and accept yourself. Next, add a bit of humor to flip the situation. You could say something lighthearted like, "Well, that's great because the older I get, the more interesting I become." Sometimes, a gentle, confident joke can ease the tension and make her look at you in a different light. When you show that you're not affected by external judgments, you'll make her see you in a new way. Finally, focus on the qualities that truly make you attractive. The important thing isn't your age, it's your maturity, confidence, and life experiences. When you shift the focus from your age to what truly matters, you'll make her realize that what's important isn't the number, but the person you are. She'll see that your age isn't a problem. It's a part of what makes you uniquely appealing. In some situations, it's your confidence and acceptance of your age that will set you apart from younger men. Think about it. What's more attractive? A man trying to hide his age, or a man who's completely comfortable and proud of the journey and wisdom that come with his years? The truth is, when a woman says you're too old, this is the moment you can turn it into a strength. Let me show you 3 immediate reactions that will kill attraction. I call this the 3 death traps, because any one of them can destroy her interest in just seconds. Death trap number 1. The defensive reaction. No, I'm not that old. I work out 5 times a week. And everyone says I look much younger. Why does this fail? You're begging for validation. And that shows that age is, in fact, an issue for you. Remember, if it's a problem for you, it will soon become one for her. She's not looking for you to prove how youthful you are. She's looking for someone who accepts themselves as they are. Death trap number 2. The logical trap. Actually, studies show that age gap relationships tend to be more successful. Plus, older men are usually more stable financially and emotionally mature. Why does this fail? You can't logic your way into attraction. The moment you start listing reasons why she should date you, you've already lost. As I always say in my videos, you can't explain your way into her heart. Attraction isn't about convincing her. It's about showing up as someone who exudes natural confidence. Death trap number 3. Undermining your confidence. Maybe I am a bit too old for you. Why does this fail? The second you accept her viewpoint and show uncertainty, you confirm every stereotype she may have about older men. You're allowing her perception to dictate how you see yourself. And that's a surefire way to kill any remaining attraction. But what if I told you there's a way to flip this moment, this seemingly insurmountable objection, into the reason she can't stop thinking about you? This is something I've noticed after coaching thousands of men. The same woman who tells one man that he's too old will often end up dating a man who is even older than him. Let me repeat that. The same woman who told a man he was too old actually ended up dating a man 12 years older than the first one. The difference wasn't appearance, money, or status, it was understanding what she was really saying. And that's why, when a woman says you're too old, what she's actually asking are 3 subtle questions. 1. Are you insecure about your age? She's not worried about the number. She's worried about whether you are. 2. Can you handle social pressure? She's thinking about what it will be like introducing you to her friends, family, and social circles. Is your confidence strong enough to stand up to societal judgments? 3. Are you truly confident in yourself? This is the ultimate test. And most men completely miss it. Here's the thing. When a woman says you're too old, she's really looking for reassurance in these areas. And if you show her that you are confident, self-assured, and unaffected by age, you'll have passed her test. So, the key isn't about defending your age or trying to convince her. It's about showing up as a man who is completely comfortable in his own skin, who isn't fazed by her concerns, and who is secure in his place in the world. It's the men who don't let their age become a hurdle, who make it part of their charm, who get the women. It's about confidence, not convincing. When you embrace your age, you make it part of your allure. I've developed a method called the TAP method, a 3-step reaction that turns this objection into attraction. This method works so well that sometimes I actually hope women will mention age. You'll take the challenge when she says, "You're too old for me," and turn it into an opportunity by doing something unexpected. Instead of defending or explaining, you'll exaggerate it with a playful smile and say, "You're absolutely right. I am quite old. In fact, I just finished writing my memoir from the Renaissance era." Notice what's happening here? You're not just agreeing, you're exaggerating it to the point of absurdity. This does 3 things. First, it demonstrates absolute confidence in yourself. Second, it shows you can't be emotionally manipulated. Third, it shifts the entire conversation from serious to playful, increasing attraction. This is where most guys stop. But we're just getting started. After your playful response, you'll transition to say, "But you know, I've noticed you're quite mature for your age. The way you handled that situation earlier. Most women in their 30s wouldn't have that level of understanding. Do you see what's happening? You just flip the situation by complimenting her, sincerely and specifically, and creating curiosity about what you see in her. This changes the power dynamic in the conversation. This is a brilliant move. You'll transform the entire statement with the perfect line at the right moment. "Actually, I might need to worry more about whether you're mature enough to handle me." Then, give her a playful smile and ask, "What's the most subtle thing you've done this month?" This last move positions you as the one making the choice, creating positive tension and giving her the chance to prove herself to you. But there's one more crucial element that most men overlook. And it's this that separates those who have just one date from those who build lasting, genuine attraction. Remember John from earlier? Let me show you what happened when John applied this method exactly. We'll analyze how he executed each step, including tone and body language. He started with a slightly playful tone, transitioned to a warm curiosity, and ended with a light-hearted challenge. Body language is key. Maintain a relaxed posture. Slightly tilt your head during the playful moments. Establish strong eye contact when the power shifts. And keep a subtle smile throughout the conversation. The timing secret. Your first reaction must be immediate and light. The next phase should slow down to build anticipation. And the power shift must happen at the perfect moment. So, what actually happened next? John used the TAP method exactly as I instructed. But instead of just getting a positive reaction, something unexpected happened. The woman who had just told him he was too old started asking him about his life and experiences. 2 weeks later, she told her friends, his age is actually one of the most attractive things about him. But here's the real twist. She was actually older than the girl he had previously dated. The issue was never about age, it never had to be. Now, I'll show you something even more powerful. How to preemptively handle this objection before it even comes up. I call this age framing. And it works as a psychological technique. Frame your age beforehand. Here are 2 strong ways to make age a non-issue. 1. The story of experience. When sharing a story, casually add, that's one of the things I love about being at this stage of life. You get to understand things that most people don't appreciate until it's too late. Notice how this makes age seem like an advantage without having to defend it. 2. Set up social proof. Instead of hiding past relationships, strategically say, you know, my ex was actually around your age. It was interesting. She always said the best part of our relationship was this. It shows you're comfortable with the age gap, proving your confidence and removing any taboo. By framing age in these ways, you're subtly signaling to her that age isn't a barrier for you. It's something that's integrated into your life story, your experiences, and your personal confidence. It doesn't matter how old you are. It matters how you carry yourself and how you use your life's journey to create attraction. The 3 pillars of value transformation. A journey into confidence and authentic attraction. There's a fascinating dimension to life experiences that many overlook, especially when it comes to age and relationships. The idea that wisdom and youth can coexist and complement each other is something I'm deeply passionate about. I often find myself saying, isn't it incredible how meeting people from different generations allows you to blend a fresh outlook with genuine wisdom? It's a rare combination, and it's one that often transforms relationships in unexpected ways. But here's the critical part. Introducing this notion into conversation before age becomes an issue. Think of it as a shield, one that preemptively protects you from societal biases about age. This tactic is powerful because it directly influences how people, particularly women, perceive age differences when they encounter older men. Society has embedded in us the idea that age gaps are problematic. Yet there's an undeniable allure to the confidence, experience, and masculinity that comes with age. This dual perception creates a subtle shift in how a woman views an older man. First, there's a social script that says, this doesn't feel right. But soon after, she can't help but be drawn to the depth and self-assurance that maturity brings. The result? Her perception evolves, and the age gap, once an obstacle, begins to feel like an asset. Let's break this down with some practical examples to show how to implement this approach. Scenario 1. The first encounter, subtly introducing experience. In the first 10 minutes of any conversation, I bring up the subject of experience, specifically, how life's lessons have shaped my perspective. For instance, I might say, one of the things I've come to appreciate as I've gotten older is how much clearer certain things become. There's a clarity that comes with age, something that can't be rushed. The key is to mention age, not as a burden, but as an asset. If her response is positive, you've created the perfect segue to introduce what I call the value shift. Scenario 2. Early stages of dating, social proof and building positive connections. During the early dating phase, the strategy is to gently incorporate social proof. This doesn't mean boasting about past relationships, but subtly conveying that age doesn't hinder connection. For instance, I once dated someone younger, and she said one of the things she loved most was how we could talk deeply about things most people never consider. This builds credibility, positioning the age gap as something that adds depth to the connection rather than something to be avoided. Now, here's the most important truth I've discovered after years of research and real-world experience with age gap relationships. Your age can either become your greatest insecurity or your most valuable asset, and there's no middle ground. The men who succeed with younger women aren't necessarily the ones who appear the youngest. They're the ones who have learned how to turn their age into a unique expression of masculinity, wisdom, and confidence. Think about it. What's more appealing? A man who hides his true self, constantly trying to appear younger than he is, or one who fully embraces his age and the wisdom that comes with it. It's the difference between authenticity and insecurity. Let me take you back to the start of this conversation. There was a woman who initially told me I was too old for her. But a month later, she shared that the way I handled the situation, with complete confidence and a sense of joy, had made her realize something profound. She'd never met a man who was so at ease with himself, so sure of who he was. The very thing she once saw as a barrier, the age gap, had become one of the most attractive aspects of our relationship. So now, it's your turn. Share your thoughts below. What's your age? What's the biggest challenge you face when it comes to connecting with younger women? And most importantly, which strategy will you try first? This is your moment to step into your true power. Embrace your age and transform it into something magnetic that draws others in.